Hey guys, in this video I'm going to be discussing autism and parenting with another autistic parent right now, coming up. Hey guys, welcome back to TheAspieWorld. My name is Dan. I have autism, ADHD, OCD and dyslexia, and I make weekly videos on this type of content. So if you're new around here and you want to learn more and you just kind of stumbled across this video, remember to click that subscribe button to see more awesome videos like this one. Oh, also, if you're watching over on Facebook, be sure to give this page a like and a follow because you want to see daily videos from me on there. Okay, so basically, I've done a video before, my friend Laura Zdan. I'm not entirely sure how I say the last, this is Stavage. I think it's, I don't know, it's something like that. But Zinavage, and we did an amazing video before, and so I wanted to do another one this time, and so here we go. This is video number 2, and we have the lovely Laura with us today.
Hi.
Hey Laura, how's it going?
Oh, I'm good. How are you?
Mate, I'm all right. I'm just yeah, just everybody's panic buying in the UK, so we're kind of like just absolutely, it's crazy right now.
Yeah, really crazy. It just started here, and like grocery stores are out of water and a bunch of other items. They're like rationing out to people, and it hasn't even really hit here crazy, so everyone's panicking.
It's crazy. I mean, the whole rationing thing is yeah, it's pretty interesting, and it's something. It's quite funny because I already made a bug out bag, so I'm kind of like a prepper. Anybody who's watching this knows exactly what a bug out bag is. Like, yes. High five you. And I already made one. So in our wardrobe, in the bottom of our wardrobe, is a big camping bag full of like camping equipment and like, you know, a lot of long life dried foods and stuff like that. And so I've already got a bug out bag ready, so we wouldn't be in complete disaster if we get shut down earlier than we anticipate. But yeah, it's crazy seeing people who've not prepared now trying to prepare, because what you have is economic kind of crash, or social economic crash.
Yes, yeah, we've prepped a little bit too, you know, the necessities and things like that, just in case, because we have 3 kids, so we don't want to like run out of the necessities.
Absolutely, and that's a great kind of like intro to what we're going to be talking about. So me and Laura did a video, and I think it was in November. We were just literally speaking before doing this video about when our last video was, and it was in November, and we spoke about late diagnosis in adults because we both were adult late diagnosis, and I think we're similar age, aren't we, Laura? Like I'm 35.
Oh,
okay, so you're 2 years older than me, just 2. I feel like I'm older than you. I don't know why. But yeah, so we basically did this video, and it was all about autism and parenting, and it was really, we did a video all about autism and like late diagnosis. It was really cool. And so one of the things is I wanted to cover on this channel is autism and being autistic and parenting children, because I feel like there's an interesting dynamic that's never really discussed. A lot of people will search videos talking about like, oh, my kid is autistic. I'm an autism parent, but they're not really an autistic parent. So what I thought would be really super cool is that I have another autistic parent come on and do this. So Laura, do you want to explain like the ages of your kids?
Sure. I have my youngest is 3, and her name is Gigi, and then I have a 4-year-old girl as well. They're 360 days apart, which is crazy. And I have a 9-year-old boy as well named Hunter.
Wow, 360 days apart, that's crazy.
Yes, it was not planned. It was crazy, really crazy.
Oh, it's funny, Hunter is one of the names I wanted to pick for my son.
Oh, really?
It was there was 2 names on the list. I'm not going to share the name because we did choose that one in the end, and I keep him quite private on my channel, but there was 2 names. It was his name and then Hunter, and I wanted to go for Hunter, but then Naomi, my girlfriend, she said that she felt like Hunter, at the time, she felt like it was too kind of an aggressive name for this child we were bearing at the time. I know, bizarre. It's not at all, but at the time, that's how she felt. So I guess like, okay, so we both decided on the other name. So it's kind of cool. But yeah, I love Hunter. It's a great name.
Thank you.
And Gigi's a cute name as well. Oh,
thanks. And then I don't think I said my middle child's name. Her name is Chloe.
Chloe. Okay, cool. I actually know a dog called Chloe. There you go.
We've met quite a few too. She's like, why are dogs named Chloe?
Yeah, they're not like named like Ben or something. But,
I know, right?
Anyway, so I have a little boy. He is 18 months old now, so he's coming up. Will be 2 in August. And it's been crazy. But yeah, he was born in the summer, so it was kind of like, I do not bear well with heat, so I don't know if you have the same issue, but like I'm really sensitive to like heat. So if I get kind of stressed or like, especially in the summer, I love sunshine. I love the summer because of vitamin D and stuff. And if I'm wearing cool clothes and it's a cool kind of like environment I'm in, it's cool. But
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. If I start getting like stressed, I have to like take my clothes off and stuff, and it doesn't go well when we're out in public. But yeah, my son was born in August, so that was kind of interesting because we had all of that like newborn like hectic phase,
right?
Whilst we had this excessive heat in August, and I was like, oh man, like,
yeah,
oh my god.
I'm sensitive to extreme temperatures for sure. I prefer like warmth over anything, but yeah, if it's too hot, especially here in Philadelphia, it's very, very, very humid. So when it's like in the, really, really hot, it's just unbearable. It feels like 10 to 15 degrees warmer because of the humidity, so it's just unbearable for me too.
Oh man, and humidity is horrible as well because it's like it's that like sticky kind of like, oh, I feel like crap because like
you can't breathe, like you feel like you can't breathe, like you're being smothered. Yeah, it's rough.
Yeah, it's not a good thing. So here you go. Here's a question. So what would you say was the biggest thing that you had to cope with being an autistic parenting like your first child, right? So you have a first child and you're autistic. Obviously, I suppose you didn't know at the time, but you still are you, right?
Right.
So what would you say was the biggest stress for you?
I think it was trying to handle all the new sounds because I'm very, very sound sensory avoidant in a lot of ways. And it's like a whole new, having kids is a whole new world of sounds that you never even, especially like the babies are, making a lot of strange noises, and into toddler years, it can be rough because toddlers are very loud and kind of wild and playful, and it's a good thing. So it was like balancing having fun with my kid and then my own sensory needs, which were not being taken care of at all before I knew I was autistic, because I didn't even realize the impact that it was having until I kind of put it all together. But I would say for me, it's the sensory issues that I really struggled with and still do.
How did you... Yeah, no, I totally agree. Like, how did you, like, did you have a hack for overcoming this? Like, what did you do? How did you cope? Like, how did you manage?
So, yeah, well, with each kid, it gets louder, and I have 3 kids. So, having 2 toddlers as well, it's like double the noise. So throughout the day, I have noise canceling or active noise canceling headphones, which really, really help throughout the day. But once I'm sensory overloaded, they don't really help, but it helps to keep me from getting to that point where I'm like about to melt down from the noise. So I do that. And then if you follow me at all on my podcast or YouTube, you know that there are days when I have to just, when my husband gets home from work, I have to just go to my room and kind of decompress, basically.
Just detach from it.
Yes.
No,
yeah.
and that's a good thing actually to remind everybody. Check out the links down below. I'll leave every link for Laura's stuff down below. She's awesome. Her podcast's amazing. And also she needs a bit more love on YouTube. So please go check her out on YouTube. I'll leave all the links down below anyway, because we always want more people on the platform helping each other. Do you know, and I can definitely relate. Like one of the biggest things for me was noise as well. And it was... the way I did it, obviously I have noise cancelling headphones or active noise cancelling headphones. I have the Bose ones. I also have these ones, the Apple ones. But at the time I had the Bose ones, and they just worked a treat. And funny enough, one of the questions I got from a few viewers, they were saying, if you've got noise cancelling headphones on, what's the difference between ignoring your kid through noise cancelling headphones and actually just being actively listening but reducing the volume? So, and I just want to make a disclaimer: like, noise cancelling headphones don't cancel out every single bit of volume. They just reduce the impact of the noise, basically. So you can still hear it, but it's at a lesser volume. And so I can still hear my son crying if he needed me, or I can, he needs whatever. But in terms of the intensity was just brought down, so it was easy to manage. So I could actually focus on the task rather than focus on my mind's about to explode.
Right. Yeah.
So
it just takes the edge off a little bit. Yeah.
100%. And I kind of, I put it in an advisory video, and people did wonder. They were like, "Oh, so does it? Are you like your son could be screaming and falling over behind you?" And I'm like, "Because I got my headphones on." But it's never, it's never like that. Never like that. And I think that would be quite irresponsible for anybody to do. So maybe not do that with anything.
Right.
So in terms of like having, so I don't have any more children. I have like the one child, and there's none planned at the moment for any more children. And so in terms of like having the other children, how did it impact you and your senses? We're talking about senses right now, right? So how did having more than one child impact your senses?
I would say every time I had a kid, it just like magnified. Just really everything, because when you have more than one kid, you have more people touching you. I'm a little touch sensitive as well. I definitely like I can't wear turtlenecks or anything like that. Like I can't feel smothered and things like that. So that was a challenge. And actually in my autism evaluation, my doctor asked me, did you hold your kids as babies a lot? And I replied, well, probably not as much as I should have, and I felt really bad about that. But at the same time, all three of my kids, with the exception of my youngest, they were pretty like independent, not really wanting to be touched all the time, because all three of my kids are also on the spectrum. So I would say, really all the senses with every kid, things magnified. So it was like more and more chance of overload and more of me realizing that I needed to take care of my sensory needs to make sure I could take care of my kids.
Oh, definitely. And I think it gives a whole new meaning to the word, or the term, biomagnification,
yes.
Which is something we use in environmental and biological science. But in terms of, I can definitely understand that, because it's like, for me, I think when I have like the baby's doing his thing, and then maybe the TV's on, right? And he'll want the TV on, and then he'll grab his iPad and he'll start putting Blippi on the iPad. I'm thinking, oh my goodness. And then we may be starting to cook or something in the living room, right? And then the heat starts to increase, and then because our living room, I don't know if you've seen my house, but our living room and kitchen is quite together. In those videos where I'm doing, and you can see the kitchen behind me, it's actually also a sitting room. So, and then so Naomi will come and she'll start talking to me about something. I'm like, this is just too much. Like I just get this crazy overload. I'm like, ow. And so before I had the medication I'm currently taking, I used to just on a daily basis, when the noise levels of the just being alive with more than one person in the house, it got to a point I'd like freak out and I'd have to leave and I'd have to go upstairs. It was horrible. And I got into a lot of like issues where I was like hitting myself in the head. And funny enough, since I've been taking my medication, it's calmed me down so much that I haven't hit myself in the head. Thank goodness, my goodness me. And it's been way better. So I can't even imagine what it'd be like with like 2 or 3. And then that's like, magnified.
It really is, and especially the toddlers. Like my son is more sensory avoidant, like me. So he really at 9 is not creating a lot of noise anymore. Although like when he was a toddler, he was a total noise terror, just like screaming and being really wild. He has ADHD as well, so he was like typical ADHD toddler. Yes, all like start to like wake up to sleep, just like Tasmanian devil, like wild. And but he's calmed down now, which is really good. So really it's more just like the girls in the toddler years. So it's like 2, and same thing as you know, one might want the iPad, one might want to watch something on YouTube on the TV, and it's like just so many random noises that most
and
days
the toys
I just
that are going
have
off
my
in the background.
And I like told my family, like, do not give my kids any more noise toys, and no one listens, so it's frustrating.
Listen, anybody who has family members who are autistic and they have kids, don't buy their kids noisy toys.
Do us a favor, please. Yes.
Do you know what's funny? I don't know if anyone can see, but my eye is slightly red here and puffy, right? And it's not because of lack of sleep. Far from it. This morning, my son had this like foam stick, and he climbed behind the couch, and I was on my iPad working, right? And then he came behind the couch and he stabbed it in my eye. I was like,
oh my goodness. Yeah. With kids comes lots of injuries as well. And then
Naomi comes out. She's like, "Why is your eye red?" I was like, "Because your son poked me in the eye with a stick." Like, but no, I totally get that. And it's and another thing I'd like to just add in here as well is that, like, anything we're talking about here, I want to make sure that any parent who is autistic watching this, don't be like ashamed or feel down or feel like you're letting yourself down by having like moments where you feel like, oh my goodness, I need a break, or oh my goodness, I need to get some air, get a breather, because we're only human at the end of the day. And if you have sensory issues, you have processing disorder issues and executive function issues and all those things, of course you're going to need that time. So don't beat yourself up if you feel, because I know a lot of people, and I've done it myself, feel like, oh my god, I'm a terrible parent because I can't, like, but then it's not that at all. It's that you're doing your best. And
all parents feel that as well. That's something that all parents have, and it's not just autistic parents that feel overwhelmed and need help and support from family members and people around them with kids.
Definitely. But I feel like it is autistic parents who obsess over the fact that they feel let down, right? Or they feel like they let themselves down. So don't worry about it. And I just wanted to make that. Okay, so here's a question. And this is a good one. Juicy one. I love this stuff. And you're going to be good at this, because I know for a fact that you you are like an organizer person, right? And you did like
Yes.
interior decorating, right? And so actually Laura inspired me to change my office around because I shown her what a tip it was before I actually made it like more of a creative space. And then she inspired me to get this stuff which it is right now. And I think I showed the office in the last video we did together, maybe.
Yeah,
anyway,
a little bit.
So here is the question. The question is, how do you organize your life with 3 kids and being on the spectrum? How do you do that?
It takes practice, and with each kid, it's kind of a new situation, and it depends on, you know, your lifestyle and your kids' lifestyles. But I think that it's really just a matter of consistency and staying on top of organization in general, just because like my kids destroy my house every day, and my clients who I do organizing for, they're always like, is your home like perfect and organized? And I'm always like, no, I have 3 kids. Like, that's ridiculous. But I think it comes down to really being consistent in your routine, which for most autistic people is not so hard. Once you kind of have that routine going, you really tend to stick to it. So for me, even though I am ADHD as well, the routine that is so necessary for me just to function in general, that kind of kicks in and helps me stay a little organized. But I really also like quarterly try to do like, you know, deep organizing, like go through all the toys, get rid of things that they don't need anymore, go through their clothes as they're growing. And so like 4 times a year, you know, I'm kind of doing like a deeper dive into keeping it all together, and then daily kind of sticking to my routine. But it's hard, and my husband gives me a lot of support as well because he's a tidy person, so that works. He's not like adding to it. I know some people complain that their partners kind of add to what their kids kind of do to their house, so I'm lucky to have that support as well. So
no, that's dope. Yeah, and do you know what? I can totally share with that. Like, Naomi is such a tidy person. Like, she loves putting things away, and she's a really good organizer. So Naomi organizes like my finances for my business and stuff like that, and then she helps me like organize how, like, I have no organizational skills. Like I couldn't, I just have none. And I love organization, but I just can't do it. Like if I look at something, they say, how are you going to organize it? I'm like, I have no idea. If you ask me how I would stack Lego into a car, that'd be a different matter. But in terms of organizing things to make them more productive, it's difficult. But so we have systems. I don't know if you have, and I'll ask you what your systems are. So we have systems in our house, and we use apps and calendars. So we have physical calendars and apps. So the biggest one for us is that we organize all appointments for the baby, for like, you know, the pediatrician or whatever. Like all of those things are organized on, we get letters and we pin the letters to like magnetic board by the cooker, and then we transpose the dates into a physical calendar which is hung up in the kitchen. And then what I do is I get my iPad and I put that data into our calendar and I share it across all our devices on iCloud. So and we put alerts and timers on those things so it knows we've got journey time, you know, and all that kind of stuff. So that is how we organize our system for kind of family life. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, we basically me and my husband shared, you know, the iPhone calendar. So I think it's Google Calendar, but we use it on our iPhones and just have everything in there. And then it's really just about constant communication. A lot of the time, my husband will actually have to take off of work because he has like a typical Monday through Friday 9 to 5 job. So that actually helps us stay a little more organized since he has to schedule things with work, and then we don't forget stuff because he, you know, knows he's going to be home to kind of help out and things like that. So it's really for us about communication, and then just like actually looking at the calendar, not just putting it in there. That's like something I kind of struggled with. Like I would put it in a virtual calendar somewhere and then just like not look at it. So so I have to like remember, and you know, because if I can't do too many reminders, or I just will ignore them as well.
Yeah, I get like that as well. I guess a few too many reminders is kind of like set you off on a path where you're just like, it just becomes overloading, right?
Reminders,
And then that big list of reminders then becomes this daunting task. So this is a question. So organizing it is pretty cool. And also anybody in the kind of the Philadelphia area, hit Laura up, man. Maybe she could sort and organize your stuff, and that's always a good thing. So why not? So here you go. Here's a question. How do you get downtime? Like how do you get downtime? How do you do it? What do you do? And you know, how long does it take?
Yeah, I try to run as much as possible. The exercise kind of helps me get it all out, which I have not been doing since I've kind of since autism and the whole world of that has been become my new special interest. It's been harder for me to take breaks and run and things like that. So I'm still kind of figuring out how to manage, just slowing down sometimes and taking that time for myself. And it's really hard when you have 3 kids and just like all day their stuff. My youngest child, Gigi, she has a developmental delay with her autism diagnosis, as well as a mild expressive language disorder. So she's in a lot of therapies, which are working really great, like speech and occupational therapy. And she has an IEP, which is a thing here to kind of help her, kind of get caught up. And so it's just like a lot throughout the day with people. It's offered free in Philadelphia for early intervention for her. So that's really amazing. And I really want to be appreciative of that. But I have, therapists in the house like every day during the day, which gets really it's hard to have people in my home a lot. I am definitely stereotypical with that. As far as autistic people go, it's like they're like in my space all the time, but they're supporting my daughter. So once again, that shame kind of kicks in where it's like, I don't like this, but I should, and all of that. So managing that, and then my son gets out of school, and then it's like homework, and then it's like dinner, and then, all of a sudden it's like, when am I even gonna take this time for myself? And like I've said, I have a lot of support from my husband, which is really great. So when I can, he often puts the kids to bed pretty much almost every night. So that really helps. And he works all day too. So it's like anything he's doing is the same way, where it's just like we both feel like we're constantly going. Yeah. But if either of us are overwhelmed, we kind of check in and give the other a break if we can. Sometimes we're really overwhelmed at the same time, which we kind of, I guess, prioritize at that point. But it's really hard to figure out what I need, because my sensory needs and things like that change daily. So it's really just about learning myself and then staying on top of it and making sure to take care of the things I need to. And I would say most of it is really personal insight. Like, okay, that really bothered me last time. Maybe I won't add this in today. Like, I can't handle it and things like that. So it's about like making those smart decisions for yourself, but it's really hard.
Yeah, no, I can totally agree. And one of the things, having a supportive partner, like your husband, sounds like an amazing guy. And so like that really does like make a heck of a difference. Like having somebody to support you.
I can't imagine not having that.
Just ridiculous. And I'm just so glad that my girlfriend's not on the spectrum either, because I don't know how we would cope. But like, because we're quite interesting people. Yeah. And so no, it is good. It is good. But I'm also supportive with her as well, obviously when she needs me. So I think it works both ways, which is great. But it also, it's relationship as well. Your parents, you're parenting, you're co-parenting, you're raising kids. Right. Like it's a difficult, testing, tough, but rewarding task. And it's also the best thing ever. So like, I don't think there's, kids are just awesome. Like, and I never thought about it until I had a kid.
Every annoying day and every like painful sensory thing that I go through at the end of the day is 100% worth it. Like they add nothing bad to my life at all. It's all reward
and learning as well, right?
Still tough at times. Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, I always say they've helped me be such a better person, because before I had kids, I did not take care of myself very well. I call it the stage effect, where like you just always have people watching you. And for some reason, I don't know why this is, I take better care of myself when there's like a reason to. And by taking care of myself, I mean just like showering and like basic care I used to really struggle with, or just like eating when I should and things like that. But it's having kids has really helped me, because all of a sudden you have eyes watching you and you want to be your best for your kids. And it's helped me so much. Like I would not be where I am today without having kids. I would probably still be stuck in some sort of spiral that I was in my 20s, probably. So yeah, kids like help you, they check you, like, especially as they get older, they'll be like, why are you doing, my son calls me out all the time. And it ends up working because it helps me take care of myself, because you want to be a good example for your kids. Of course.
And I think like, you're saying about when you have like, you have purpose, you have sense of purpose, right? So when you're taking care of children and you're responsible for the development of someone's life, then you have an excessive sense of purpose. You're almost playing the hand of God. You've created life and now you're nurturing life. And that's an amazing expression. So I totally agree. So and I just want to add in, so how I get downtime, and I think it is important to have downtime and time for yourself or de-stress periods, right? And one of the ways I found really really well is, yes, I run too, and I love running, and I love listening to audiobooks when I run. But one of the main ways is that I actually have a online counselor. So I tap into online counseling, and then I paid like per month for it, and then I have these sessions once a week with an online counselor, which is just phenomenal, And so that kind of, I get a cup of tea, I sit down on my beanbag, and then I speak to my counselor, and we have this like video chat, and I've got one today actually, so it's really good. I get time to debrief and stuff.
Great.
And I would actually, and if anyone's listening to this, I'll leave a link down below for the one I actually use, because I've seen a bunch of different ones, and the only one that's worth using, I believe, is BetterHelp, and I will leave a link for it down below. And I'm pretty sure that there's some kind of, if you use my affiliate link, there's some kind of deal or something. I don't know. But anyway, I tested it out, and now I'm a fully, I pay every time for it, and it's amazing. So definitely check it out. I will have a video actually coming out all on online counseling, because I think it's a big topic that people kind of are now moving into that stage where I used to go and see physical counselors, but now moving into like digital age. It's very important, and all that information will be in a video that you've probably already seen, because that was probably ages ago. So this one was recorded after that video. So I got 2 questions left, because I don't want to make this video like run on for ages. So super quickly, how do you find the school run, like being around other mums and dads, and like how do you find that?
I'm not good at it. I don't know. I struggle with social interaction, or kind of knowing like what to do, but I just try to kind of mirror, what I see other parents do, and I don't know. It's really tough. I think a lot of moms often kind of like become friends, and they're especially like kids in the same class and all of that, and it's a little hard for me to navigate, but I haven't had any negative experience. I just probably haven't like been as, I don't participate maybe quite as much as I should.
Totally. No, I get it. And I feel your pain. I've been to like the school run with my sister to pick up her kids a couple of times. I'm thinking, and she's just like this queen of just like, small talking with all the other mums. And I'm like, oh my goodness. Like, it's so difficult. I'm just sitting there like, but for us, it's going to be different. We're going to actually homeschool our kids, so it's gonna be way different. So we don't have to have that awkward school run kind of thing. But Naomi takes into all his kind of like social things, like swimming and his gymnastics and yoga and stuff. So she does all that with him. So I don't have to do those things at the moment. I have taken him swimming a couple of times, but it's a bit difficult, especially when the mums want to have a chat and you're like, about what? But okay, so my last question for you then is, what would you say that there's a big tip that you've learned? If you have one, you don't have to have one, but have you got a big tip that you could give any autism parents who are watching this right now and listening on the podcast to help them with just being a parent who is autistic?
Yeah, I think my biggest tip is get to know yourself and your triggers. And one thing that's helped me is kind of keeping a diary, like when I have meltdowns, kind of think about like what was going on before that. I mean, often for me it's sensory, especially with sound. But I think just being able to understand yourself and know what triggers you, and doing all you can to kind of handle that, so that you are kind of counteracting that shame of being like, oh, I'm not there for my kid when I need to be, and just being realistic. It's okay to take extra breaks or get extra support. I think sometimes we don't even want to ask for help because we feel like we should be a certain way. So knowing yourself, being realistic, and asking for help when you need it, I think is the biggest thing. Definitely.
And I actually agree. And what I would say, the only thing I was going to say for this, when I was thinking about this question for myself, is that just don't beat yourself up. Parents, it's like I said, it's a tough job. It's rewarding, but it's tough. And so just like anything else, if it's worth having, it's going to be difficult, right? So don't beat yourself up about it. Just ride that wave and just know that you're doing a good job, because I'm rooting for you. You know what I mean? So it's all good. It's all good.
Me too.
So guys, if you found this video entertaining, if you found it valuable for somebody, please can you share this video on Facebook and Twitter, because we want to help people, and I feel like if we can bring value through sharing, that'd be awesome. Also, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. It helps me, helps you guys, and it's super awesome for everything. Right, guys, thank you so much, Laura, for coming onto my podcast today, and my video cast also, which is the second one we've done. And actually, you're the only guest I've had on my video podcast.
Having me.
Oh no, you're more than welcome. You're welcome. And we'll do another one sometime in the next kind of couple of weeks, probably. So yeah, I'll come up with some more topics. It'll be awesome. Right, Laura, thank you so much, and I'll see you next time, guys. Peace.